Good morning. There's a fly buzzing around my greenhouse. Just in here, checking on things. All of this stuff is now desperate to be potted out, planted out into the fantastic raised beds. I gave it a good watering last night. And it all looks tremendous. I've got some cannas that have put on excellent growth. When I potted these on, propagated them this year from 2 plants, there was nothing above the soil, and some of these are now a foot tall, which is great. They look very nice. I like the big leaf tropical plants. Everything else looking fine. I won't run through them again today, but I will go out of the allotment and survey all that I own, which is 10 raised beds. They had a good weeding over the weekend, so they're looking pretty fresh. Bit of a trim required, again, never-ending job, and a bit of mowing. Already fed the hens this morning. So they're busily pecking away. Hello, ladies. At their feeder. Yes, it's breakfast. I've not looked how many eggs they've laid yet. Hopefully enough for breakfast. We tend to do an egg run at the weekend. So everyone that's messaged on Facebook asking for eggs gets their eggs generally over the weekend. And come early week, probably Sunday or Monday, we don't have so many in the kitchen to eat ourselves. I think there are 0 in there at the moment, so I will take some back with me. It is shaping up to be a glorious day. It's not too late, about 7:30. And there's a real sort of haze in the sky. It's not clear at all, but the sun is beating down on me and warming me up. I'm going to wander now off the garden and into the meadow. I say the meadow. It is a meadow. But we use it as garden, really. Albeit quite a wild one. We emptied one of the sheds, an old ancillary building, yesterday. Having a bit of a clear out and a tidy up. You may have seen a video of the ensuing bonfire on Instagram. It was blazing hot. There were a lot of old things in there, mainly eaten by woodworm, tabletops, old wooden ladders, strange things screwed together, obviously made for a job at one point and never used again. And that is all now gone. Either into a skip or onto the bonfire pile if it's wood. So we had a nice bonfire. Let me find my rake. I'll go and rake over the coals. I'm walking along the border now between where we have a static caravan the guests couldn't stay in, or could at one point, and the old sheds, and I'm walking down towards the stream, which is one of the streams that feeds the river at the bottom of the garden. And what can I see? Well, I'm walking past some tall grass, some of which is chin height. I'm walking past about 300 or so, 400 white poplar saplings that are all self-set from the poplars around here. And I did trim about 2/3 of them out 18 months ago, and I'm about ready to need to do the same again, because there are far too many. And in the distance I can see my gate that I fixed last year, and then behind that, about half a mile, the main road. So I'm now at the stream, and it's right next to where we had the bonfire. Still hot over here. Actually, I'm not sure this was the greatest location for the bonfire, because I'm looking now, I can see a lot of nails and things sort of in the ashes, which are going to stick in my tyres. And I do drive over this area, but we'll have to see. Perhaps I'll get a magnet, one of them magnet things on a wheel, and be able to collect them all. Who knows? The grass is still damp. I'm walking on the bit that I've mown with the fantastic flail mower, which I must do some kind of video review on soon. I've been threatening that since I bought it a year ago. And maybe I'll do a Bob's Garden review on the kit. Anyway, that's the fire kicked about. Oh, I've not brought a coffee with me. That is disastrous. It's just thought, fancy a little swig of coffee, and I haven't brought one with me. That is a bit of a pain. So I'm walking back up the meadow now. Let's go in the old shed, actually, and past this holly bush. Ow! Need to trim that down, and into the old shed. Now this really is a good proper old outbuilding. It is made from old scraps of wood and frames of things. There are sheets of tin as the wall, galvanised sort of metal, plastic windows, and the walls are internal walls are made of what look like old garage doors. Some of the doors have still got house numbers screwed to them. So it is a good old ramshackle shed, and I've been assured that it's been stood here for between 40 and 50 years, which is good going, isn't it? Let's come out of there, because it's a bit cold and there are lots of spiders. Oh, there's the rake I was looking for earlier and couldn't find. Right, let's head back to the warmth of the allotment. I think I might sneeze now because I've just walked into the sun. Excuse me. Right, I'm back on the allotment now, next to the chicken shed. They need watering, which I will do shortly. So our job's on today's list. Need to trim and mow, but I can't do that until a bit later on because it's a bit early to be revving the engine on my strimmer. Hopefully the mesh should arrive today and I'll be allowed to plant out, and then I'll stick some more seedlings in. But that's it. It was a lovely fire last night. There's something about a fire, isn't there? We have a lot of burn-ups on Bob's garden. I'm just taking a seat now. There we go. A lot of burn-ups. And they are sort of cleansing, aren't they? I mean, as well as the physical aspects of moving, of emptying an old shed and preparing for something new that you might want to build or store in there. I think the aspect of seeing a fire is, I don't know, there's just something good about it, isn't there? It's not just physically warm, but it's kind of keeps you mentally warm. It does for me anyway. It's like a fresh start, isn't it? Getting rid of a load of old stuff in a kind of powerful way. I don't know. There's something primal about it. Primordial, is that the word? Primeval? I better Google those sorts of words before I throw them out there. Hens are funny creatures. I'm just sat here now. They're fascinating to watch. They really do have an order, and they all have their own quirks. There's one sort of stood on the floor with its neck stretched out, reaching right round into its coop, underneath a little ramp that they walk up to go into the coop, pecking at a bit of straw. I mean, you could just go up the ramp and peck away. Very strange. They'll soon be allowed out to roam free more often. After letting them out when the DEFRA ban ended, I've tended to keep them in a little bit because they go into my beds and they turn them over. Well, part of yesterday's job that triggered the shed emptying was the search for some fence posts, and I'm going to stick a fence up today if I can, and then I can let them out and fence off my vegetables. Whilst they are good at eradicating weeds, they turn the soil over, which creates more weeds. So, yeah, it's not ideal. Well, I feel like I've really rambled this morning. More rambling tomorrow.